Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Going to continue the utility discussions here on Sunday Smoke Podcast. I've titled this one, I want to bring in the title of Speed is Not Utility. Okay, everybody, speed is not utility in reasoning. This is going to tie into the utility of the mind. Everybody kind of is obsessed with maybe the grind, the go fast, how hard you hustle, how hard you're trying. I can't recall exactly where I became exposed to this week in some of my readings, but it was the quote goes, "The youth walk faster, but the aged know the road." So it's not just about the direction you're going or how fast the direction you're going. Because if you're going fast in a direction, you could just be getting lost faster. That's why I say the aged know the road. Utility is knowing where you're going, not how fast you get there. I can use a tree analogy. Think about a tree. So a tree falls the way it leans. If you have the tree, it's growing up. You have a lot of the branches going this way to the source of life that is going this way, the sunshine, the environment that encourages that growth. But you don't have as much encouragement over here, well, it becomes unbalanced, right? And you have the foundation of the tree. So if you have something that's eroding the left side of the tree, well, that's one calls it to lean that way. So I'll use that visual to bring in that your daily habits could be the lean. If you always lead towards comfort, if you always lean towards just affirmation, if you always lead towards an excuse, that becomes the weakness every day. So don't be surprised if you collapse that direction when there's a crisis, adversity, or whatever hits. So my thought process or my thinking challenge this week is, are you walking fast in the wrong direction? Are you leaning the wrong way? Because you can't change the fall at the time of the impact. You can only change the lean now or work on the lean now. When I get into like validation, maybe some delusions, it's all propagated by the Black Mirror of invincibility, because a lot of people, I'll say some people don't want truth. They're seeking reassurance that they're correct, they're right, they're just. I'm not saying this intentional, I'm not saying this malicious, but they don't want to be conflicted or maybe challenged because it's easier, it's comfortable. Because if they speak or if they're reassured they're right, that becomes the truth. Bring in the social media thing, right? Think about this. Too much attention makes a donkey think he's a lion. How about that? Strong minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people. And that comes from Seneca 2,000 years ago, 2,000 years plus. So what if the social media gives attention to everybody, right? Like you plug in the platform, you plug in whatever. It increases the sphere. It lets the Black Mirror create a spear? It doesn't. It's like the donkey thinks he's a lion because he got 1,000 likes. Okay. A real lion doesn't need the attention of the sheep to know that they're dangerous, to know that they're the leader, know that they're the alpha. That's probably why, or is influenced. I don't say why. There's no absolutes in anything. Why do people get angry if you disagree or challenge them? Because they wanted to hear they were right, right? And like me saying that, right? I'm doing this hoping that you'll like give me affirmation that I'm right. It's why people seek attention. I think the utility of man or of a man is to seek truth, seek justice, even if it's difficult, even if there's friction, if there's hurt, pain. Because the weak man seeks reassurance, affirmation, because that's comfortable and it provides comfort. It provides, it's without friction. So let's bring Seneca back in. Let's do what can we call it? We can call it a Seneca test, a Seneca standard. How about a Seneca standard? In audit a conversation. Think about it. Like, be aware, be in the moment, confine yourself to the present. Confine yourself to the present of that conversation. So, are you talking about people? Talking about comments? Talking about gossip? Talking about drama? Are you talking about the event, like the actual sport, the actual news, the actual action? Or are you talking about ideas? Are you talking about a strategy, a solution, philosophy? So if you're talking about people, that puts you in the weak mind. If you're talking about the action, the event, the sport, that's just the average mind. If you're talking about an idea, you're talking about the strategy, the resolution, the philosophy, that becomes a strong mind. So I want you to elevate reason over discussing people. Just not be the cheering crowd or the roaring crowd or add to the noise. Because we can get into perception, right? I think we talked about that a little bit last week or this week. I took a week off, did a lot of reading, did a lot of writing, actually, more writing. I haven't recorded any of the podcast this week. Felt kind of weird. I even brought it up in discussion with my tribe, my group of people, my little clan, society, team, whatever you want to call it. I like tribe. Tribe's my favorite way of looking at it because we are tribal type people. We were developed in small tribes. So we can look at the perception. Let's bring in morality. There's aesthetics to morality, right? I'll let you guess where I read this in. Okay, if you kill a cockroach, you're a hero. But if you kill a butterfly, you're evil. Even morals have aesthetic criteria because the outcome's the same. You've ended a life. You've ended the cockroach or you've ended the butterflies. So are you a hero or are you evil? So are you good? Are you trying to be good? Are you searching to be good? Or are you searching just to look good? Let's don't just judge the actions on how pretty or ugly the victim is. Life's the same. The aesthetic's different. You save the butterfly because it's beautiful, or do you kill the cockroach because it's ugly? Do you do good things when they look good? Is it just for vanity? Is that your morality? Just, just man, just man does the right thing, even if it's ugly. Bring in the pleasure side of it. Gets into the morality, like the pleasure of morality, right? One drink is pleasure. 10 drinks is punishment. You can rest. That's pleasure. But if you do too much rest, you atrophy. So I think temperance is maybe a utility that's overlooked. Moderation, temperance, because you can overdo a good thing, then it becomes a bad thing. That's what I'm talking about, the perception. Just to be very careful. Are you doing good or are you just looking good? Don't be fooled just by the aesthetics of the principle, or the root is, bring back in the tree, the root is the most important thing. If the root is not solid foundation, it doesn't matter what the tree looks like. If it starts leaning this way because it gets too big on this one side, or the foundation starts getting eroded by some other thing, it's actually the root is the key. Because a tree falls the way it leans. I'm trying to come up with a challenge for this week, or one step harder challenge. And I've talked about trees, I've talked about habit, talked about aesthetics. So what are we going to audit this week? Let's audit our discourse or conversation to see which mind we're using. We're using the average mind, we're using the weak mind, or using the strong mind. So if we're talking about just the person and to judge the person or gossip about the person, it's out. Are we talking about just the action? Talking about the sport, the event? Let's stop that also. Let's pivot or move or change the conversation to resolution, the idea, the concept, the philosophy. So we're not weak or average, we're strong. Let's don't look for just the attention. Let's look for the resolution.